Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel or the Instagram or Facebook or wherever it is that you're watching this. This is another mini reading for Sacred Partners. We are going to be doing mini readings for the next couple of weeks just because I'm in the middle of a major move, selling my house, moving, packing, holidays, and all that good stuff. So I hope that you guys can hang in there with me with these mini readings. I will be doing Sacred Union Energy Updates, the full in-depth readings as I am able. I will also be doing some light language transmissions as well as some sacred channelings over on Susan Dawn Ascension Connections coming up. But that is going to be unscheduled, so just hang in there with me. I will do them as I am able, as I'm called to. So mini readings, just because I want to check in on the energies as we go along in these next few weeks. We are now in Sagittarius season. We are making our way through the eclipse corridor to the solar eclipse that is occurring on the new moon on December 4th. So the energy of the 3rd, 4th, 5th, will be really feeling the solar eclipse energy with the new moon. This is major energy, you guys. I had to take a day today for myself and just, I couldn't do anything but sleep. I felt flush, feverish. I was called to just rest, hydrate a lot. I was doing massive purging. I would cry and then I was okay. And I would cry and then I was okay. It feels like we're pushing through to a major breakthrough. It feels like, and when I say pushing through, it's almost because it's not quite conscious. What we're breaking through is not quite being revealed yet. It's not quite conscious, but we're having that breakthrough anyway. This feels like massive, massive energy. As we can see, that's coming in for our readings as well. There's a lot of energy that's being mirrored between the divine counterparts. I think today is actually, as I'm recording this, it is the 4-year anniversary of when I was launched on the ascension journey with my counterpart. For those who know my story, I've known my counterpart since we were 10 years old. But we basically never interacted since we were 10 until about 2012. We got back in touch on Facebook, became acquaintances. 2016, we grew closer as friends. 2017, we met up on this date. And we were catapulted into this journey, this crazy, wild roller coaster of a journey. A twiniversary is what my friend just called it, and I love that. It has been ups and downs, a lot of love, and a lot of pain, a lot of triggering. I share most of my journey on my channel on Ascension Confessions, the playlist over there. I share the raw and the real of this journey. It's filled with a lot of love. It's also filled with a lot of confusion, uncertainty, and lessons and experiences that help us grow as a person. I often have been saying I do not know who I was just a few weeks ago. I feel like I'm in a completely new energy and a completely different person. And I really do have this journey to thank for that. The tools that I've acquired have led me to this new version of myself where I would not be able to handle the stresses of my physical world changing as much as it has in the past several weeks. But that's this journey. There is a sense of inner peace. There is a sense of surrender. There is a sense of knowing that something is right on the horizon, even if I don't entirely know what it is. Even if this place of transition feels a little bit uncertain right now, I'm moving between energies of joy and sadness. And a lot of that sadness is a letting go of the past, letting go of the past phase of who I was, letting go of the past person of who my divine counterpart was, that past version of himself, letting go of the past version of us. Because as we grow and change individually, our relationship naturally has to grow and change. And there is a lot of uncertainty around that as we go on our individual paths, as we continue on our individual paths towards that convergence, towards that union. But union occurs within first. And that's the most important thing to remember. Union occurs within first. It's not a far off destination. It's something that you hold within yourself. you are balancing out the masculine and feminine polarities within you. And it's no coincidence that this Two of Pentacles came out between the masculine and the feminine, because in this reading, there is so much mirroring that is going on. Like I said, so much mirroring that's happening with these energies right now. And even if it feels like you don't have a lot of clarity, that clarity will be coming as we move towards the winter solstice, or the summer solstice if you're in the southern hemisphere. But towards these solstice energies, we really are moving towards more clarity, more understanding. And as I was talking to some soul sisters, I really understand the higher perspective of what's happening, especially within these connections. But when it comes to the physical reality, my 3D reality, everything looks like it's chaos. Everything looks like it's upside down. I don't understand it at all. But I'm so connected to the higher realms that I understand the bigger picture, what it's for, how it's unfolding, and it feels so peaceful. It feels so much like it's unfolding into a beautiful new direction. I feel like there's a doorway that has opened for this collective. One phase of our journey has come to an end. We've been in this transition period of this new beginning, and it feels abundant. It feels like we are moving into just this energy of our higher heart. And that's why I call it that higher heart ascension, where we had been in the place of healing before, and we're still going to continue healing, but this is higher heart ascension. This is embodiment. This is really bringing into our physical world everything that we have been energetically working on, everything that we have been energetically aligning to. And if you have experienced a lot of chaos or turmoil in your physical world, it's because there was a deconstruction that was happening. Things needed to be kind of destroyed or destructive in order for it to be created in this new energy, this new version of who you are. So you had to kind of deconstruct the old in order to align to the new energy, because you can't carry the old with you. For example, my home, that was an old version of me. My home, I had bought it right when I was getting sick with Lyme disease. That was my place of healing. That was my sanctuary. And now it's like I'm ready for that new phase. I'm ready for something else. I can feel it. My home, we've had many talks because, even a home is a consciousness. And so I have sat with the energy of my home, and she's told me that it is time, it is done. And that's how I know that the phase of my journey has ended, and I've moved into a new higher consciousness. I've moved into a new version of myself, even though it feels so chaotic in the external world, so stressful and chaotic in the external world. I know that what's to come, I can feel it, I can envision it, I can feel the energy of my new home, even though I'm in a temporary place right now and I don't know where I'm going yet. That's part of the surrender, that's part of the unfolding. So we're applying that to sacred partners as well. We don't know how it's going to come together, where it's going to come together, when it's going to come together, but we can feel the energy of it. And even if it looks chaotic right now and you're like, how is this ever going to come together? Even if you're doubting your masculine or your feminine, even if you're saying, I don't see any growth, or I haven't heard from this person in months, or I haven't seen this person in years, how can I trust this? How can I believe in that? That's where you go into your heart space. And it's okay to have some of that confusion, because right now, work through that, allow yourself to clear that, allow yourself to sit with that and clear that, and just, keep surrendering to God's source. Keep surrendering to the unfolding, because that's just you trying to control. By trying to make sense of it in your mind space, you are trying to kind of control how it's going to unfold by saying, well, I don't see how it's possible now. That's just your mind in its limited egoic structure that is trying to go in a linear timeline. But as we know, ascension is not linear. This journey is not linear. Time itself is non-linear. It's just our human construct that we are stripping away. That's part of the ego that is fading, or that is being integrated as we trust more and more of the sacred soul self. So we are moving into a new state of higher heart ascension, and now what we need to do is really trust in the unfolding and trust in the process of embodiment. And the more that we embody the energy of love, the more we come into that union and balance with ourselves, that inner peace, and the more our physical environment, including our sacred partnership, begins to unfold in beautiful divine ways. If you're feeling the heavy energy now It's because there's still more releasing, there's still more purging, there's still more aligning that you're doing in order to align to that higher consciousness and that new energy. You're still kind of releasing that old. That's a transition that this full moon eclipse has really pushed us into. And it was Scorpio season that really had us dig up a lot of the beliefs and the mindsets and patterns that were still kind of stuck, that soul sludge that was still kind of stuck there, really had us dive deep to keep bringing those up to the surface, especially around love. And so with the full moon, the eclipse especially, it's powerful portal energy that is really pushing us forward. So if you guys are watching on Instagram or Facebook, I'm going to pause here. Just because I have a time limit, I'm going to pause here, and you can follow me on YouTube for the full reading. I'm sending you guys so much love. Okay, I did not expect to channel so much about that in the beginning, but it felt like it was important. So what I want to do is go into the masculine and feminine. Again, there's a lot of energy that is being mirrored right now. And when I pulled the Two of Pentacles here, it just shows me the mirroring that's happening, the merging of the two polarities that is happening, the masculine and the feminine here coming into a beautiful balance. These cards that I pulled were at the bottom of the deck. I'm going to show you guys the bottom of the deck after these cards were pulled as well, because there are additional messages there. But let's get into it. So we're going to start with the divine masculine. Their current energies is we're going to do this together. Their current energies is mirroring the divine feminine. Divine masculine is going deep, deep, deep within the heart. Deep within the heart space. So you might actually be sensing each other's energy, especially as some of that soul sludge, as I like to call it, comes up to the surface. So some of that heartbreak, pain, disappointment, shame, guilt, whatever it is, that's coming up to be released. And it's released so that more love can flow in. That's what's happening right now. I'm getting the message that God's source is really with the masculine energy. Now, if you're divine feminine, this is also the masculine energy within you that is healing within you. Remember, your divine masculine is the embodiment of your own inner masculine energy. It's just in another person. Just like the feminine energy within the masculine is you. It's your energy embodied. You have different, you're different people, but you're that one energy. So you cannot take responsibility for your divine masculine. They have their own choices. They have their own actions, their own behaviors. But the closer and closer you come into that balance, the more those frequencies match, the more those energies match, the more you come into union with each other and begin making those choices together. Your energies have always kind of run parallel. Your lives have always kind of run parallel with each other. You could be saying, how could this person have done this to me? I would never have done that. But they were showing you something about yourself. They were showing you the contrast. They were showing you the mirror. They were showing you where maybe you did abandon yourself in the past. And they were showing you never to do that again. Maybe you had betrayed yourself in the past, and they were showing you never to do that again. They were showing you that to heal that part of yourself. So again, don't ever accept poor behavior, but recognize where they were showing that to you for you to heal within yourself, for you to expand and grow within yourself. I talk a lot about that on my Sacred Union Energy updates, as well as my Sacred Channelings. I'm not going to go into depth here, but if you want to learn more about Twin Flame, Sacred Partners, whatever it is that you want to label it as, if you want to learn more about that energy, check out the playlist on my YouTube channel. So they're going deep within their heart here, and I do feel like they are feeling that feminine energy. Divine Feminine is really mirroring this. You're going deep within your heart and recognizing your worth. You're recognizing the treasure that lies within your heart space. The treasure that lies within you. You're recognizing your own abundance. You're recognizing your power. So you are both diving deep within yourselves, and I feel like this Divine Masculine is recognizing the love within themselves. Divine Feminine, you're doing the same, but just from a different aspect, from a different place. Both of you recognizing your worth, both of you recognizing your value, both of you even recognizing your connection to God. But it's coming from different angles, different places, different experiences, and even different levels. So for example, Divine Feminine, I feel like is really recognizing her treasure, honoring herself, cherishing herself, recognizing her power as that sacred feminine. The divine masculine is doing that from a place of recognizing it from the love within themselves. Because they have been so guarded within themselves, they are recognizing it from a place of strength where they hadn't felt strong before, they hadn't felt courageous before. They're recognizing it for the masculine energy that it is to step up and be a leader, to step up and be a king energy. They're showing me the King of Wands. So it's that king energy. Divine Feminine is doing this from the feminine energy. So for a long time, the masculine and the feminine had been working on their own polarities. The feminine had been working on securing or feeling secure with the masculine energy within her. Divine Masculine had been working on opening up his heart and his crown chakra, his connection to the universe, his intuition, the feminine energy within him. But now it feels like they're stepping back into their own core essence, having integrated the feminine or masculine energies within them. So this really feels like a union energy within. This really feels like a balancing out of the masculine and the feminine, and now really trying to honor the core essence that they are. That's a really beautiful energy that's coming through. And as they do this, their union energy is one of abundance. And when this card came out, I was looking at the blanket and how there are all these what look like apples in there, but they feel like gemstones or something. And what I heard was, what goes up must come down. It's like these women, what I'm actually seeing is them throwing the apples into the air and then catching them again in the blanket. What goes up must come down. You will always be supported. You will always be caught and held in the divine love of God's source. So trust in this. Trust in this. It's almost like fleeing your desires, fleeing your fears, fleeing your hopes, fleeing your dreams, fleeing your confusion and uncertainty into the air, because God's got it. God's got it. And those apples will land in the safety of alignment, the safety of the divine unfolding. They will land where they're meant to land, but it will be in the blanket. It will be, that blanket is representative of God's source, that he's got this. That was a very strange analogy, but we're going to run with it. Okay, so then I asked more about the current energies for the divine masculine, and we have the temple path and deceit, and that is more of the energy of going deeper than the heart space. That temple path, a long time ago, we had channeled that. It was like the divine feminine is waiting here in the temple for the divine masculine after having gone through their own journey deep inside of themselves, that spiral, knowing themselves deeper and deeper and deeper inside of yourselves. In order to ascend, you actually go deeper within. These divine masculines have been walking this path themselves, and I feel like they are right here. I feel like they are at the tail end and releasing that deception, releasing that sabotage energy. And this is self-deception, and this is the mask that they were holding on to. This is, their own pain, their own trauma, their own patterns. And what I'm actually seeing is a little boy. Remember, it's an energy, but I'm seeing it represented as a little boy that had just hidden himself away in his own deception, thus trying to deceive the world because of his own pain, because of his own fears, because of his own traumas. Well, he has been clearing that energy, that toxicity, and because of that, he is coming out and stepping into the light. He has been on this path of healing. He has been on this path of ascension, and he is walking the sacred path now. This is a masculine who has become conscious, was always quite conscious, but has become conscious within their own connection to God's source. No more deceit, no more self-betrayal, no more self-abandonment, really connected to themselves and to God. And it's almost like they were forced to do this. They were forced to face their own self-deception. They were forced to face themselves. They were forced to face their own inner child. Over here on the feminine side, again, it's interesting. The first card that came out was action over here. First card that came out was the temple path over here, and then the deceit card flew out after. Same with this. The broken heart card flew out after action. So I feel like you're mirroring each other here. Where divine feminine, she is just going on her path. She is just ready. But look where the divine masculine is. He's there. He's right there beside you. And you're so focused on your path, divine feminine, that you're not even looking back to see where he is. He's right there, and you're not quite aware of it. That's what you can't see. That's what has not been revealed to you just yet. you might still be in a state of confusion. Is he healing? Is he growing? Is he expanding? Is he transforming like I am? You're not meant to know that, because you're meant to just go and focus on your path. Now, that might be causing some heartbreak for you, because you've had to release the journey. You've had to even release the focus on your divine masculine, and in some cases, the masculine energy itself. That hold on it, that obsessive energy, that resistance that was being created, and just have faith. And that has created some brokenheartedness, some uncertainty, some fears. But you're moving through this. And the more you focus on your path, look, that's where that convergence comes up. And it's like you're just going full steam ahead, and he's just kind of cantering. He's just kind of like, yeah, I'm here. I'm making my way. He is right there with you, right along the way with you. So next I pulled about the connection. Oh, let me look. This is that convergence. This is such a mess. This is that convergence energy, the happy family. This is a union energy that's between you both. This is what you can't quite see yet. This is that convergence. You guys are in alignment with each other, but you might not be able to see how this is going to come to pass, and you're not meant to. You're just meant to surrender. It's a 4 number, which is a number of foundations, and that is what you're building right now. That's a higher perspective of everything that you might be experiencing, especially if you are in lack of communication or physical separation, or even though you're feeling that connection. We've talked about that a lot in the past few mini readings and sacred union updates. Even though you are experiencing some kind of upheaval in your connection, you're building a foundation. So you're just meant to keep surrendering this, because this is what is coming in. This is what is being created for you. This is what's aligning to you, because you're both shifting into new energies. And the only thing, feminines, you can do is just focus on yourself, focus on your path. Do not worry about where your masculine is. Do not worry about is he or isn't he, because that's going to just keep the illusions going. That's going to keep you in confusion. Clarity is coming. You will have the truth, but just keep focused on yourself. So when I was asking about the connection and the divine feminines, or the divine masculines towards the divine feminines, we got the dating card. And this feels like, I'm getting the word chivalry, but I'm also getting this energy of sincerity, and like an offer is coming in. Now, I don't mean an offer. When I say an offer, I mean some kind of communication, some kind of clarity. They are offering their heart. They are offering expression of self. They are offering clarity to you. They are offering communication. That's what I mean by an offer. For some, it might be a higher level of commitment. For others, it might be some kind of truth. For others, it might be some kind of understanding. But there is something sincere that is coming in. And look at how she can feel this. Look at how her hand is on her heart, because she's trusting the vibrations. She's trusting the energy. She's trusting how it feels versus just looking at the outside actions. She's really going within her heart space and saying, okay, how does this actually feel? You know, they can say words, they can have actions, but how does this feel within the heart space? This is something that she knows is sincere, and anything less she will not accept. But if it's genuine, if it's sincere, if she really feels the energy, that's when she will accept it. But I do feel like these masculines are coming in. This does not feel lacking in any way. This does not feel deceptive. It does not feel manipulative. This feels like it is something genuine, possibly because of this transformation. I'm going to continue here with the tarot. We have the Temperance card, we have the Wheel of Fortune, and we have the Two of Wands. So I feel like these masculines are still kind of in this energy of going through this phase of their journey, this process of the temple path. They're following their path of going deep within their heart space, but this is healing. And as we channeled in the last mini reading, this temperance energy really is the inner union for the divine masculines. It is the union between the masculine and the feminine. So there is a merging that is occurring for these divine masculines that are pushing them forward into a new direction. And that's what this Three of Wands actually feels like. This Three of Wands has the energy of Two of Wands, which is choosing a path. And I feel like that choice has been made consciously or unconsciously. And they are really stepping forward into a new life for themselves. They can see it. It is right on the horizon there. They are ready to take that leap of faith. They are ready to go forward. They are ready to just move into the new version of themselves. They want this. As we channeled the last time, they are wanting this change, and they're feeling this change, and it's because of this healing work that they have done with themselves, this merging, this inner union that they've experienced, it is pushing them forward into the new version of themselves. So I do feel like this is still a little bit of a process. They're still on this path, but they're moving forward now. I don't necessarily see them taking action. I want to say the solstice energy is going to be a big push. I'm seeing over the next few weeks there's going to be communication and action being taken, but I do feel like it's going to continue to be a process. So allow that process to take root. Okay, so for the Divine Feminine, how are they feeling about the connection? The ultimate energy is inner peace. And I love this. You are enough. I am enough. That is her recognition of this new version of herself. Again, it's this energy of, yes, I know what I am worth now. I know my value. I know how powerful I am. I know how I am love, the energy of love. She's in this energy of peace, and even though there might be heartbreak, and even though there might be some confusion, and she's asking for clarity, she ultimately knows and feels at peace because she knows that that clarity is coming. She understands and is surrendered to the unfolding. So there might be some moments of confusion, there might be some moments of even fear and uncertainty about the future, but she's ultimately at peace with her circumstances and the situation and her sacred partnership and even the chaos that she's experiencing around her. There's still this sense of inner peace because she knows that everything is happening for the greatest good for herself, for the connection, because she still ultimately feels connected to her sacred partner and to God, and especially to herself. That is that Trinity energy. So even though she might be experiencing a lot right now, even though her emotions might be back and forth and up and down and all over the place, when she really connects to her heart space, the ultimate feeling there is one of peace. And that peace is what is guiding her forward. So we have the Nine of Cups, we have the Four of Pentacles, and we have the Five of Pentacles. This is that mix of emotions that she might be feeling, especially about the connection. This Nine of Cups actually feels very much like the Nine of Pentacles, where she's very independent, stable, grounded within herself. She's indulging in herself. This feels like a good energy. There's times where she feels joyful, where she feels happy, where she feels peaceful, where she feels excited about her life. There are times still when she feels a little bit guarded when it comes to this connection. There are times still when she feels a little bit abandoned by this connection. So she's moving through, this feels like very separate emotions, separate cards, separate energy. And I feel like it's because she's kind of moving through all of this all at once. And I do feel like she's kind of picking up on the Divine Masculine going through his own journey through these emotions as well. So I feel like you guys are really tied to each other, you're really connected to each other, and you can feel this. And as you're doing this, I feel like the emotions are all over the place. And what I'm being called to is the Four of Pentacles is right in the middle here. You have this beautiful Nine of Cups card, joy, fulfillment, happiness. You have the Five of Pentacles, abandonment, rejection, left out in the cold, even a sense of betrayal. But look at the pentacles on that barren tree. You know that there is something that is going to come from this. You know that even this season of winter, this barren landscape where it feels very uncertain and it feels very chaotic, you know that it's going to bear some kind of fruit. And so you might be a little bit guarded, but you're working on that guard. You're letting the inner peace be greater than your fears. So things might be a little bit chaotic for you, Divine Feminines, but ultimately keep tapping into your heart space and feeling that place of peace. And then in the union energies, I was just blown away when we had the love card came out. That is what you are both feeling towards each other. And I do feel like that love is activating again, that love is rising again between you two. There might have been some betrayal energy, abandonment energy, some rejection energy, neglect. There might have been some resentment, some anger, whatever it was, this sense of detachment between the counterparts. But I do feel like the love is beginning to flourish again between you. And that's because of, again, this balancing out that's happening, this merging that is happening between you two. And it's because of the work that is being done going deep within the heart space. I want to pause here. and go to the bottoms of the deck. So this was the bottom of the deck and the union energy that I pulled, and then the bottom of the deck below that had some more messages. So here we have, this is for both of you, here we have these cleansing waters. This is what is happening. You had to take some time to yourselves apart from each other in order to continue to clear out the energy of the past, especially with the two of you in the relationship or the karma that was formed between the two of you as you were going on this healing journey together and clearing your own individual past karma. You had to take some time out so that you could really purify your energy and get back into your own state of wholeness. So that you can come together in higher harmonics is what I'm hearing. Higher harmonics, so higher frequency, higher harmony. And this is really activating the love between you two as you are going through this clearing, this healing, this continuing to just go deeper and deeper into your own work, your own connection to yourself and to God. This is purifying the energy of yourself, which is helping to bring you both into alignment together. Adjacent possibilities, it does feel like this is a divine unfolding, and there are so many different opportunities. There are so many different ways that this can unfold. And like I said in the beginning, we can be very limited in our mindsets. Oh, well, I thought we were on track for union, and then we had this big upheaval. So what's happening? I don't understand. How can we actually come together after this? Well, that's this, adjacent possibilities. You're not meant to know. You're meant to trust. You're meant to trust in the healing. You're meant to trust in God's source. You are meant to just have faith and trust. And through that surrender is trust. And that could be a difficult thing, but that's what you're working on now. There are unlimited possibilities. So the more you come into union with yourself, the more you are naturally aligning to that union with your sacred partner, but just allow yourself to open up to all of the possibilities. And then over here we have forgiveness, and underneath that we had intimacy. That forgiveness is how you trust. That forgiveness is how you connect even further to your counterpart and to yourself. And forgiveness for yourself, forgiveness for who you were and who you allowed yourself to be, and for any behaviors that you allowed when you weren't entirely conscious. For example, any actions or behaviors that made you abandon yourself or betray yourself, didn't stand up for yourself, where you may not have expressed yourself or your needs or your wants, where you may have sacrificed yourself. Forgive yourself. Also allow yourself to forgive your partner. Where you're in a new energy of, I'm not settling for less. I'm not going to allow that energy anymore. That's what this is. That's forgiveness. And the more you forgive yourself, the more you can build intimacy with yourself, knowing yourself more deeply, the more you can build that intimacy with your partner, the more you can come together. And then over here, the bottom of the deck for the tarot was the Emperor, and below that I saw was strength. So I do feel like the Divine Masculine is rising. The Divine Masculine is gathering the strength to become a clear, conscious leader. A really beautiful energy for the Emperor here. The Emperor is not always such a divine energy. It can be a little bit cold. It could be a little bit calculated. But this feels like a really conscious energy, getting the strength and the courage to really step up and rise into their own power and who they recognize themselves as, feeling that worthy of being the Emperor. Divine Masculine had not always felt worthy of this, but especially as the Divine Feminine is uncovering the treasure within herself and recognizing her own power, the Divine Masculine is doing the same. So beautiful, really beautiful mirrored energy that is occurring right now. We're going to check back in later this week with another mini reading. Hope you guys are enjoying these. If not, just stay tuned to my channel. We'll have more in-depth Sacred Union energy updates and sacred channelings coming up on both of my channels very soon. I'm sending you guys so much love, so much light, and we'll see you soon. Bye.